Hello, welcome back. For today's video, I'm going to be testing out some new drugstore makeup. So I've got a bit of a selection here. I've got quite a few bits from Pixi. I've got some Maybelline, I've got some Rimmel, some Wet n Wild, MUA, some Revolution. So let's get on into it. So I'm going to start off by doing my brows, and we're going in with this one here from Revolution. This is their Wrap Brow. This came in, I think it was 4 shades, this one being the lightest one, but this one still looks pretty dark to me. So the shade that I've got is Cool Medium Brown, and it looks like, oh, so the wand looks like that. So it's kind of a triangular really, so like that, and then it's got bristles on 3 angles. So lately on my brows, all I've been using is actually a clear brow gel because I tinted them before I went away, and I don't want this to be too dark, if I'm honest. So what I'm going to do, normally I'd go through them like that first, or even the wrong way first, if you know what I mean, like that way. But I am just going to gently comb through them. So this one is actually a tubing, it's a right mess at the minute. This one's actually a tubing brow gel. So, you know, like tubing mascaras, I've actually got one of those today, but tubing mascaras where they are easy to remove. So this one is kind of like the same theory. I don't know, I think it's a bit dark, it's a bit scary. And then normally with brow gels, I would tease them a little bit afterwards with my finger, which it does actually feel, hang on a minute. Oh, look at that. There's no transfer on my finger. I wasn't expecting that at all. Okay, so there's the difference between the two. Now for me, that's too dark. That's too dark for me. But I know some people do like them like that. So if you do like your brows to look a bit darker and a bit thicker, then, you know, it's great. It works. It's just, for me, it's just that bit too dark. And bearing in mind, if this was lighter, if they had this in a blonde, then I think it'd be absolutely fine, because I've been using more of a blonde. If I've been using a pen, I've gone for blonde lately, and that seems to match my skin tone a lot better. Whereas this one, I just feel, I mean, when I sit back and you look at the difference, apart from the fullness, it's not dramatically darker than my natural brow. Well, they're not my natural brows, they're tinted, but how my brows are at the moment. But I just feel it looks too dark. I think it's the tail. Is that a bit better? I've tried to make it a bit thinner. I don't know. I can't make it any thinner than that because that is my actual brow. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Okay, so both are now done. I feel it looks patchy as well, you know. I've tried my best with these to make them look as natural as possible, but I definitely feel like I've got my window on this side, so you got more natural light in here, and you can definitely see some patchiness where it's clung. My brows aren't thicker there, it's just where it's gone patchy, and I can't seem to kind of comb it through or anything to make it look more even. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of that, to be honest with you, but yeah. So next we're going to go on and do eyes, and I have another Revolution product. So it's this one here, it's their Glamour Glow eyeshadow palette, and this one is a bit like a book. I think they got creams and powders. So we've got creams on this side here, and then if we open that bit, we have powders on this side. So like that there. They do look quite nice, the colours. There's not many shimmers in here, is there? 6 shimmers. So yeah, although I love this one. That one's really nice, isn't it? But yeah, they are quite pretty. But I will say, looking at it, does this give you summer? I don't know if it does for me. I don't know if it's giving summer. It's giving more autumn, I think, because there's quite a few dark colours in here. For me, summer is like, you know, brights, even sort of crossing over spring, summer, pastels, that sort of thing. I feel like this is quite dark for a summer palette. What do I know? Let's swatch a few of them. I won't swatch them all because there's loads. Let's go for this bright pink here. So there's that one there. Let's blend it out a bit. That's okay. What about this corally red down the bottom? That one's actually swatched a bit better. These swatches are terrible. This one in the corner is quite nice, actually. Let's try that one. Okay, that one's really nice. That swatches really well. And we'll go for this one up here because it's a bit paler. I just want to know what that one's like. Oh, that one's really nice. Okay, so I would say that the pink from the swatches needs a bit more blending out than the others, but the others actually swatch quite well. They are quite stainy on the arm look. I've really scrubbed that and it's just not budging. So let's try some of the powders. So let's try a couple of mattes and a couple of shimmers. So I'm going to go with that one. It's a very pretty colour. Let's go on this side. That side's still a bit wet. That's actually really nice. Yeah, that is nice. Let's go for this orange. Wouldn't normally wear this one, so give it a quick swatch. Not too bad, a little bit chalky, that one. And then for shimmers, let's go for this green one again, because that looks pretty. Ooh. Oh, that is nice. Do you know, that's a lot more subtle than I thought. And I don't mean subtle as in can't really see it. I mean, it's a bit of a colour shift. It's got a little bit of like a goldy tone going through it as well. It's not like an in-your-face green is what I'm trying to say. And we'll go for this one in the middle here as well, which is a bit of an orangey sort of shade. It's a bit chunkier, that one. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those more wet shimmers, if you know what I mean. That's actually really nice though. Really pretty. Do you know what? Let's go for a bit of a greeny blue, concentrating on these three on the end just here. Haven't done anything like this for ages. Right, so I'm going to start off by going into this brighter green shade, and we'll use that on the crease, and I think I might take that on the outer half of the lid as well. That's actually a really nice colour. Yeah, I haven't done anything with like anything fun, I suppose, with colours like this for such a long time. I keep going quite safe, don't I? So let's bring it back again. I know I haven't done any makeup videos for ages, and trust me, it's like I keep thinking I really need to do some makeup videos, hence the reason I'm doing one today. And I'll be honest, the reason is because when we had that heat wave that lasted ages, and obviously, you know, I've been away in between as well, but when we had that heat wave, the last thing I wanted to do was wear a full face of makeup, especially with eyeshadow. The thought of it just, yeah, made me feel queasy, really. Yeah, and to be truthful with you, it's like I don't feel, when my face is dripping with sweat like it had been in that heat wave, I can't really give a true review, if you know what I mean, because yeah, it just doesn't look the same, does it? That colour's actually really pretty, and it was actually reasonably easy to blend as well. I'm going to take that onto the outer lid, like I said. Do you know what? That is really nice. I actually think that's such a pretty colour. Really, really nice. I'm just going to take a bit of this paler one up here and use that just to blend out the edge of this one slightly. So I'm going very light-handed, just overlapping, obviously, the brighter green or turquoise, greeny blue, and just using that to blend out with that pale green. That's actually working really well. Just take a little bit onto that inner corner as well, just to blend slightly, but I'm going to cover that with shimmer in a bit. Oh, that's worked really well to soften that. Look at the difference between that one and that one now. Then going to go on with this shimmer in the middle just here, which is the one that I swatched, and I said it was quite a subtle, or more subtle shimmer, should we say, than it looked. I'm going to use a brush, I think, because I want to keep it quite subtle. But it's still really nice. What do we think of that? Is it a little bit too close in colour? Have I gone a little bit safe? I feel like that is, you know. I might take the tiniest amount of this goldy one just here, just on my finger, and use it just to almost pat over the top of the green. Concentrate more where it joins the matte shade. I actually think that looks really nice. Yeah, just needed that little bit extra. I'm actually really happy with how that turned out, you know. I think that's a lovely little palette. So we'll finish off the eyes with some mascara now. I'm going on with this one from Maybelline. This is the Sky Tubes Mascara. So part of their Sky High mascara range, except this one is a tubing mascara. Love a tubing mascara, but often I find them really hard to build up. So I've got the shade Black, and it's like this. the one. So it's almost, I think it is exactly the same as the normal Sky High one. I haven't curled my lashes. I haven't needed to lately. I've been using a really good eyelash serum that I can't tell you about yet, but it's really good. And yeah, it seems to have, my lashes have grown so well, but in the right direction as well. In the past, I've tried lash serums, and they've grown like in all different directions, but this one's actually like made them grow with a really nice curl, like a natural curl. I promise you, I haven't had like a lash lift or anything. I haven't done one for ages because, yeah, I don't like how my lashes grow out when I've got a lash lift. So yeah, wow, that's actually quite impressive, isn't it? I love the ones on these. I love how they grip to the base of the lash and then really do comb through every single lash, even those little ones there, because it's got that conical shape. You can get right to the inner corner without getting, well, for me, too much on my lid. There's always going to be some because I just can't help it. Look at that, that's just one coat. So one coat and then without. That's really good. That is a really good mascara. And I love the fact that it's a tubing mascara as well. Hate taking mascara off at the end of the night, but I just find tubing mascaras are just so easy to remove, aren't they? Just going on with the second coat now. And I have to say, it is buildable. You know, the ones that I've tried anyway, the tubing mascaras, I find them really hard to build up. I think a lot of the reason is because they dry down so slowly. Well, I find they do anyway. They take ages to dry down compared to like your average mascara, whereas this one actually dries down quite quickly. What do we think to that? Because I'm blimmin' impressed. Look at that. It is really nice, and it didn't go clumpy, which is great. So 2 coats, no clumpiness, definitely gives length and thickness. And as I say, easy to remove at the end of the day, even better. Yeah, that is a brilliant mascara. Do you know what? I actually might prefer this to the original Sky High as well. Yeah, that's going in my everyday drawer. So I've got a few base products from Pixi. This one is the first. It's the Flawless Beauty Primer. So what does it say? So it says glow enhancing primer helps to even out skin tone, promote a youthful glow, balance skin hydration and prolongs makeup wear. Packed with nourishing ingredients like rose, jojoba and vitamin E, and it's fragrance free as well. So we have a squeezy tube and there is 30 ml in here. I'm guessing this is going to be a bit of a little bit. I was going to say, what's that Benefit one? Professional. I thought it might be a bit like that, but I suppose this one doesn't really claim to be pore filling, does it? Similar colour. I've got too much here. Story of my life. Okay, let's see what this has got. I feel like it's a little bit shimmery, you know. I don't know if that's fallout from my eyeshadow because I can see little specks in it. It might be actually, because it doesn't look shimmery like the actual liquid itself, or the cream I should say. It dries down really quick. It actually soaks into the skin quite nicely, and it does feel more like a moisturiser. Like when you start to rub it in, it's definitely got more of a hydration factor to it. I don't know, actually, it does look, it is a little bit shimmery, but it does say it's got that glowiness, doesn't it? But it's not like super obvious at the same time. Let's see how it performs underneath the rest of the makeup. So we've actually got a Pixi foundation as well. This is the On The Glow base, and you know they're On The Glow blushes, bronzers, highlighters. It's that theory but in a foundation stick. This really appeals to me because I really like a foundation stick. So I've got the shade Nude, loads and loads of shades in this, really good shade range actually. So it looks exactly the same as the other one. So the colour's a bit like this. It is a little bit more neutral than I'd normally go for, but that's fine. I always find it quite hard to judge your shade online. It's like a twist. Oh, that's really sheer. I feel like you need, if you want more of a coverage, you need quite a lot of product with this one. I do like the shape of these. You kind of feel like you're getting a little lymphatic drainage at the same time. Let's just push that in with a brush. Do you know what though? It's got a lovely finish to it. So that's one coat. It's one coat of paint. There's one layer. I do feel like, do you know what? For me, if I'm being honest, for me, as a daily product, this is ideal. But I know there are people that like, you know, to cover up their imperfections, that like a little bit more coverage. The shade's actually spot on. And I just feel this won't be enough. I want to see how buildable it is, if at all, because it's so sheer. It's very hydrating though. All right, let's press that one in now. It's a little bit buildable, but yeah, it is a sheer foundation. I wouldn't even say light, it is sheer. So that's with compared to without. I mean, you can see it has covered my redness a bit. I think it looks nice personally. I like it. But if you are looking for something that does offer more coverage, then yeah, this won't be for you. But I like it. I think it's really nice. Let's go on the rest of my face then. Okay, so we're all over now. I actually really like this. I think it's lovely, especially for this time of the year when you don't want too much like heavy makeup or anything. I love the glow. I think it's a beautiful, look at that. I think it's a beautiful glow, but without looking oily or greasy. Yeah, I think it's a really nice product. It's just, as I said before, you know, if you want more of a coverage, then this definitely won't be for you. For blush, I have this one here from Rimmel. So this is the Multi-tasker Blush and Brush Blush Stick. I've got the shade Coral Dust. I got this from Amazon actually. No, I didn't. I got it from Superdrug. What am I saying? So it looks like that. Give it a little... Oh, it's very... Oh, that is pigmented. A lot more pigmented than I was expecting. The only thing I will say, I love the concept, you know, for travel and that sort of thing, with it having a blush here and then the brush here. But, and it's quite a short, stubby sort of brush as well. It does actually feel quite nice, to be fair. But I don't like to draw it straight onto my face. I like to get my brush and actually use it on the stick. So I would prefer if this could come out, you know, have it inside, no problem, but I would prefer if it was removable to use. But that's just my opinion. Because we ain't got a choice today, have we? We're going to have to draw it onto my face. So let's go on this side this time. I'm just going to use a little bit because it's really pigmented, and see how we get on. Swapping over to the brush side. Oh, that's... Oh, I don't like that brush. That is way too firm. It feels quite soft, like when you do it like that. Is that... Does it come up? No, I wondered if you could like screw it up or something, but that isn't moving anywhere because, well, a little bit, but that is way too firm. Yeah, scrap that idea. So with that in mind, I'd rather just have the stick. That's all right, I prefer to use it like this anyway, to be honest with you. So let's take some on the brush this time. That's better. See, I just find it so much better like this and drawing it on your face and then struggling to move it around. It's really pigmented. I took too much there, didn't I? It's better. So yeah, really nice pigment to it. I've brought it in too far there. I'm just going to take this sponge and just, that's better, blend it a bit. Let's try this side, obviously without that blob underneath it. God, it's so pigmented. It's a lovely shade though. This side looks better because I haven't got that, obviously, that blob that I drew on at the beginning. So I do feel like this side looks a bit better now. Yeah, I actually think that's lovely. It's a bit more matte than I was expecting. It's not like really matte. I'd say demi-matte. It's not really glowy, but it's not completely matte at the same time. It's like a bit in between. It's a lovely shade though, but this side definitely looks better. Bronzer, I picked up this one here from MCoBeauty. I haven't tried many of their products at all. So this is, I think this is the only shade they do in this. I did look, this was from Amazon, that's where I was getting confused. But I did look and I was like, there's literally this one shade. So I don't know if it's kind of like a universal shade or what, but they just call it the Summer Glow Bronzing Powder. So like that. The shade's nice. It's like a bit of a sparkly bronzer. So let's just dip in. And I hope it's not too dark. Just take it in my usual areas. I've been doing this for ages now. I think the very last video I did, like makeup video, I spoke about this. But I saw someone on TikTok do it, right? Do their blush before their bronzer. And it all like blended a lot better. And I've been really enjoying doing that. And I've been doing it ever since. And yeah, just a little tip for you. It's not my tip. I got it off TikTok, but yeah, I just find it works better. I can't see anything, can you? It's going a bit heavier. It's definitely on the brush. Look at that. It's quite orange, actually. I can't even see it on my hand. What is going on here? It's on the brush. That's better. You have to go in quite heavy. I have got the tan at the moment anyway, so maybe that's what it is. Just need to go in a bit heavier than I normally would. Doesn't give much of a glow. I don't know if that's from the bronzer or if that's from the foundation. Let's go up here. You can see it more. Maybe it's because it's like I've put so much on the brush now. There's loads left over. Okay, I feel like after a while of using it, it's definitely got better. I don't know if I maybe needed to really dig into it, or as I say, it's just where I've got build up on the brush and it's got better as I've used it. But yeah, I can definitely see it more now. It is quite nice actually. I just don't get the one shade situation with it, if I'm being honest, because you can see it on me now, but I think if you were any darker than me, you'd really struggle with this. For highlighter, I have this one here from MUA. So this is their Beauty Balm highlighter, and this is in the shade Highlight. I've tried the blushes of these and I love them. And I'm hoping that this is a bit of a dupe for the Merit Beauty Day Glow highlighter, because it looks very similar. And I've been trying for ages to get a dupe for that. So I'm just going on with my finger like I do my other one. Yeah, it's got that kind of wet, glossy look to it. And if this is a dupe for a fraction of the price, because obviously MUA is extremely affordable makeup, but still good, then we are onto a winner. Oh, do you know what? I think this is the closest I've ever found so far. Oh, actually smells really nice as well. It smells a bit like Play-Doh. Oh, look at that. Look at that glow. See, that's what I like about the Merit one. It doesn't look like you've got a stripe of highlighter on your face. It just looks like you've got that natural glow right on that high point there. Look at that. That is really nice, you know. And as I say, it's extremely similar to the Merit one. Like really similar. I love that. That is beautiful. Do you know what? I've nearly used up my Merit one. It's lasted me ages. Probably out of date if I'm being honest. But this I will definitely keep aside and use when I finish that one. It is so close. It is very, very close. I'm going to put a little bit of powder on. We're going in with another Pixi product. This is their H2O Skin Veil. I've got the shade Translucent. They do other shades as well in this one. So I've got 5 grams of powder in here. It's like one of those types. I've a feeling with it having H2O on the label. I can never find the sticky things with these. Got there in the end. Yeah, I have a feeling with it saying H2O that it's actually going to be one of those like wet feeling powders. It's extremely fine. Look how fine that is. Put way too much in the lid, but that's fine. I'm just going to use a puff, which I normally do, and just take a bit on there. I'm just going to tap some off on the back. Yeah, it's one of those wet feeling ones. Right, so let's go here, I think, to start off with. Oh, that's actually really nice. It's so fine, like really fine. Can you see how much it's blurred? My pores on that side compared to that side. I mean, yeah, powder should do that anyway, you know, it mattifies, but it looks really good. Like in person, it doesn't look cakey or, you know, dry or anything. It actually looks really nice. Let's just take it down here. This is something I like to do, just to kind of cut off the bronzer a bit and then blend it a little bit. This is my way of contouring because I can't contour. I'm terrible at it. Yeah, again, it doesn't look dry at all. It looks really nice. What do we think of that? Because I think that's actually really quite lovely. Doesn't look dry at all. I think that's a beautiful powder, really nice. Probably one of the nicest ones I've tried in ages. I have loved the NYX one, the Wonder Snatch powder, but I've nearly run out of that. I'm definitely gonna use this one afterwards, like, you know, in my everyday drawer, because it's really nice. And to be honest with you, it's just as fine as that one, and that's what I like about it. I do like a fine powder. So yeah, that's a definite win. So let's set that down. I've got this one from Maybelline here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this isn't a first impressions look. I've used a third of this already. Do you know what? When I first bought this, which was about 3 weeks ago now, I was like, oh, when I've done my makeup, I'll just give it a little try, see what it's like, because I wanted to. And I really liked it. And then I kept picking it up for about the next week, thinking, oh, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And yeah, before you know it, I've managed to get through a third. But it is really nice and it lasts really well. But this is like, can you see that, how thick it is? It's almost like, obviously their jelly, not their jelly, their grippy primer, which is quite jellyish, that's what I was trying to say. It's like a jellyish serum, or like a thick serum. This is kind of like a slightly more watered down version of that, and it is really nice. Okay, so let's pop this on. And I will say as well, I feel like I don't need as much of it because it is that bit thicker as well. It also smells gorgeous. Yeah, it just feels really nice. I mean, it's a setting spray. There's not much I can say about it really, but you know, it looks really nice. It merges your makeup in together nicely. And as I say, whenever I've used it, my makeup's lasted really well. So yeah, I think it's a really nice product. Very lastly, for lips, I have this one here. I actually picked this one up in Spain. It's from Wet n Wild and it's the Mega Inky lip colour. So this one is in the shade Bare Intentions. Oh, the doe foot's nice. I love a doe foot like this. So we've got a little like triangular doe foot. How beautiful does that shade look? I'm just going to go straight onto the lips. So no liner. Oh, look at that shade. That is nice. Oh, it looks wet. I think this is a matte product, I'm not sure. Ooh, that's such a nice colour. That's actually like my favourite colour of lip product. I feel like it needs to dry down a bit, so I'll just leave that to dry down. Okay, so it's dried now, and it doesn't dry down completely matte. It's really weird. It's comfortable, and I thought it might be non-transferable with it being called Inky, but it is actually... It does come off on your finger when you touch it. And I like the finish of it. I love a matte lip anyway. And I like the finish of it. Love the colour. Like, I love the colour. But it's like a bit... If I really press my lips together. You see? It's a bit sticky. However, it's comfortable at the same time. You know, if you don't sit there pressing your lips together, which to be honest, you're not going to. It's actually like a really comfortable product. It doesn't feel like tight and drying like some matte lips do. So yeah, I actually really like it. I think it's really nice. So here's the finished look, and overall I actually really like it. I actually really like the eyes. I know I haven't done anything like this for such a long time, but it's actually a really cute colour, isn't it? Like a bluey green like that. It is really nice, and it is quite summery, despite me saying that this eyeshadow palette wasn't very summery. But yeah, I do feel like this is kind of like the only summery sort of shades in here though, apart from this bright, whoops. Just put my finger in it. I thought I had the cover over it then. Yeah, apart from that bright pink in there. But yeah, the eyeshadow palette is actually really nice. You know, I like the shadows that I've used. I think they performed really well. So yeah, Pixi products, like this, you know, it seemed to work well. I like how it looks underneath my makeup. This is really nice. I really like this, but I do understand that some people are going to look at this and think she doesn't look like she's got anything on. Personally, that's what I like. So yeah, I don't like to look like I've got loads of foundation on or anything. But if you do want more coverage, as I've said a couple of times now, this won't be for you. I do feel like it kind of evens things out though, which is what I like to get from a base product. I like it to kind of, you know, just minimise any imperfections that I have. Not get rid of them completely. I like to look like, you know, it's my skin, but just better. The powder though is so nice. I really like this. I love how fine it is. I love how it looks on the skin. This is a win for me. This highlighter is so good. I am so glad that after finally after like probably months now of looking for an alternative to the Merit one, a more affordable alternative, should we say, that I've actually found one, because this is so close. The glow is just beautiful, amazing. Absolutely love this mascara. It is so good. This is definitely going in my everyday drawer. The bronzer, okay. Yeah, it's fine. It does the job. I just don't get the whole one shade thing. This, not so keen to be honest with you. Love the setting spray. The lip product, really nice. This blush is a really nice product in itself. I do love the blush. I just don't like the brush that comes with it. So as always, I will link all the products shown in today's video in the description box below, along with any discount codes as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd really appreciate it. It means the absolute world to me if you enjoy watching this video and you would like to see more content from me in the future, and you would like to subscribe to my channel. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye.